Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix. And of course, welcome back to our still yet to be named battleship. In today's episode, we are going to be finishing off the battleship and sending it at long last into the campaign to fight against the White Flyers and see if I have done a good enough job to actually defeat them. I'm really hoping this thing survives and does its job well, of course trying to defeat the battleships of the White Flyers, such as the Perforator, amongst others. It also has enough torpedo power to attack the submarines, as they aren't too heavily defended, and this thing has lots of them. So, first of all though, we do need to actually finish off the ship. It is very, very close to being done. The naval AI is not yet installed, but the engines are. The fuel storage has been installed, along with some basic material storage. All it really needs now is the ability to actually control itself, so it can move forward, turn around, and all that good stuff. I'm probably going to use some hybrid controls near the front, using thrusters and stuff like that from the air section, just to make turning a little bit more reliable when the ship's taken damage, and perhaps even some jets facing forwards, as I can't imagine this will be particularly quick, even at the best of times, with just how heavy this thing is. With 3 to 4 thick armour pretty much everywhere around, certain sections going as thick as 5 to 6 layers, meaning this will take an absolute beating, but at the same time is very, very heavy. Right now it does actually float, not as much as I would like. I need to set up some hydrofoils so it can float a little bit better, but I think it stops about there. So it does float, we have some flares, we need some anti-missile lasers. There's still a lot to be done, despite the fact all of the weapon systems are now finally online, as you just saw by the torpedoes flying past me. It does still move forward, just not with any real control. It's just a matter of, oh look, we're in combat, go forwards. Still need to set everything up. So, let's get to it, let's start building, and let's make sure the torpedoes stop hitting our own ship. Although its aesthetics are still not completely finished, the ship is functionally pretty much now complete. All of the weapons are online, the anti-missile systems have been installed, and it even has a new missile silo at the back, because honestly I was just missing missiles. This time it will be using the laser designators as opposed to the camera variants, just to make sure it won't be thrown off by things like flares and stuff like that. So it will actually hit the targets. Once again, everything is all focused around damaging very large, very slow-moving craft. Kind of like itself, honestly. And like I already mentioned, this still needs to be prettied up. The front I'm not happy with, neither am I really happy with the back sections, but for now it will do. The shields have been installed, and I've made sure the engine is as powerful as it can be, without making it too inefficient in terms of fuel usage. There's nothing else really more to say other than it's time to finally put the unnamed battleship into the campaign and see if it can actually deal with the white flyers. I'm really hoping it can. I've purposefully kept from fighting the white flyers in the sandbox mode, so it's going to be a very hopeful experience once we actually get there. So be right back once I have one or two of these in our fleet. At long last, here we are. Our minigun is firing, as are our main cannons. We are against the white flyers themselves. It's certainly taken long enough to actually build this craft, so I'm very happy at long last to be here. Now, all the main weapons should be targeting the larger of the opponents, so we should be seeing some damage being dealt to those two very, very soon. And by the looks of it, and the healing being needed, that's exactly what's happening. Sadly, the minigun is pretty hard to see if anything ever actually happens, as it's all armor-piercing rounds, without much of an impact, dealing damage to the inside of the ship. Some more shells here coming, some of the main battery. Oh, that one's sunk, so I'm guessing, yep, explosions from within, the minigun is currently targeting it, and down it goes into the depths. The little ship that was getting very close is now being attacked by the missiles. Will any of the main weapons target it? Very unlikely. It doesn't really pay too much heed to enemies that get close, so we did just get hit on the side, although it seems to have done almost as much damage to it as it's done to ourselves. And back to the two forces here. Well, that one's definitely going down, although it is trying to get back up, and the other one has been stopped. It's only a matter of time now until their AI is completely removed. What enemies do we have left? Soon we'll have the Retaliator, and we'll also have the Desiccator, was that? Okay, the Desiccator, or Desiccator. Quite a lot to go still then. Those two healing each other is getting very annoying. We are actually stopping every single missile. Not one missile has actually hit our ship yet, so well done with that. Can we take out these two, though? That would be lovely. Or is it just going to be a really slow fight now, with them both healing each other's AI constantly? Because that seems to be the case at this moment. Is the minigun firing? Yep, the minigun is firing away, so it is just a matter of waiting for them to die. Once they're both dead, then the larger enemy can finally spawn in. And now the shells are actually hitting their targets. That should speed up things significantly. The minigun just changed target and is now firing at the Desiccator instead. Looking at the map view here, we can see that just did 3% damage straight away to the ship in the very first volley, and it looks like it's actually sinking. Sadly, it does take quite some time to get around on the battlefield, even when using the binoculars. Yeah, that's pretty much dead. So the first three ships completely wiped out. Our cargo ships are now spawning in because there's not many enemies left, so we now have 2 cargo ships in addition to the 2 battleships, which are currently simply called Hellspawn. The miniguns will likely have to reload soon though, so I'm a little bit concerned, especially now the larger ship is inbound, which is called the Retaliator. The minigun is now firing. Yeah, the minigun is firing. Not quite sure what at, though. It's definitely deflecting. I'm guessing it is actually hitting the target then, otherwise it wouldn't be deflecting from the shields. A couple of small internal explosions straight away. Hopefully the minigun will be enough to actually get through those shields though. Although the minigun shots do go through shields, it's not 100% the time. I do need to actually install some form of EMP weapon on these. I'm actually tempted to make the missiles EMP, just to knock out things like their shields and such. Also, perhaps adding fuses to the main cannon battery, just so they explode upon being deflected, especially with such huge explosion radiuses, it would definitely be quite effective. How much damage? Oh, it has taken some damage, although it is fighting back. Our guys still at full health, however, due to our own shielding systems and anti-missile systems. It seems like a lot of the damage is actually coming from the torpedoes. Well done, torpedoes. I completely forgot you even existed, to be perfectly honest. That's such an awesome looking ship. I really do feel bad about my ships when I see the ships which are currently accepted in-game. Yeah, we definitely need fuses. Fuses will be the next upgrade to the battleships. Because these shells could do a lot of damage, but look at how many are just being deflected. A couple of missiles just hitting the target. I don't know why our cargo ship wants to ram the huge enemy battleship, but sure, why not? That seems reasonable. This is going to be a long fight. Neither team are really damaging each other. A little bit of damage being sustained at the battleship to the left here, but the one on the right is still at technically 100%. It's just taken some damage. That's why the health bar is currently showing. Less than 1%. I could jump on and actually try and do a bit of a boarding party, but I feel like at least in this battle, we should let it play out. Yep, so EMP weapons and fuses, that's two things we have learnt we definitely need for our battleships. And it shouldn't be too hard to do either, just altering the missiles for EMP, or perhaps even the minigun, and then having a couple of fuse systems in the main weapon, in the main battery, would be also extremely easy to do. It's like firing at both of us. Most of the shots are being deflected, the few which are being absorbed just isn't enough to do more than just damage to the metal, which obviously is very, very small amounts of the overall health. One of the cruise missiles taking out a chunk there of the command bridge. Okay, I'll just skip ahead now until one side seems to be winning. I could board this so easily right now. I feel like I almost should. Okay, I'm giving in to temptation. We're going to be boarding the enemy ship. Hello. Well, there's already a hole there, but actually the cargo ship, we have no way to easily escape the bridge, as it's not really built to be manned. Delete this, then I'll get on board and see how it goes. I'll be honest, I am absolutely terrified right now of being destroyed by my own ships. 2 shells just crashed right here just a few seconds ago. So I've really got to find a breach point very, very soon, which isn't currently under heavy attack. And I think the base of this turret will do just fine. Because it also means I can do some damage to the inside of the turret, which is always good. Neither side is really taking much damage right now. I do build around the concept of having as much defense as possible, so it's going to be a while until our battleships go down, but with the shielding and stuff of this thing, the same could easily be said. Wow. Look at how much power this thing has, and how much fuel. Look how much... Wow. That's using up several hundred fuel per second. Well, we can't keep this as part of the fleet, but let's see if I can just do some internal damage to it and speed this up. Ooh, hello. Well, that's something I want to shoot at. Say goodbye to the turret. So, for anyone who doesn't know, turrets are now actually explosive if they have ammo in them, and we just blew a massive hole in the middle of the battleship. That's very, very cool. Although I'm still not quite sure what this ship is actually called. Was it the Retaliator or something like that? Oh, it's 2 damage, so now it's self-destructing, and we gotta get out of here quickly. We basically just delivered the death blow. Oh, actually, it seems like our turrets have got through the front of the ship as well, so let's just jump off this and watch the fireworks. In 2 seconds, it will start self-destructing. 1 second, starting me stammering apparently, and now. Well done. We defeated one of the largest, if not the largest ship in the White Flower arsenal. Although I still think the Perforator is definitely scarier, with its massive guns. This thing just looked really impressive. I don't think I can capture it right now. The FPS loss is insane. Perhaps in the future I'll just have 1 or 2 ships on each side actually there. Nope, we're currently dead. Let's just spawn back at the Hellspawn and find another enemy. Well done, Hellspawns. You showed you can survive very well. The shield systems were really good, the anti-missile systems worked much better than I expected. The only problem I had is that the minigun ran out of ammo too quickly, and I think that's because we actually ran out of metal for my ammunition processors, so the minigun was just sitting there not firing, as it is actually belt-fed, but some of the ammunition stores will run out before others, so it should be reloading while it's firing, because some of them are offline, but without any metal, there's no ammo to actually stockpile. At least we'll get some from the enemy. The first battle is finished with a resounding success. The Hellspawns definitely did a lot better than I expected, since I still hadn't put them through a true trial by combat. And we learned a few things. Most of the things I must have said a million times during that fight, but regardless, it definitely bears repeating. We need EMP weaponry, and we need fuses on our main shells. They were just doing so little damage because of the defences of the enemy. And now, to make things a little bit sweeter on ourselves, there's an enemy right here guarding a lovely resource zone, which means at last we can have a foothold in the White Flyer territory and start making things here. The reason why I ran out of metal just then is purely because I had no way to restock after building the 2 Hellspawns. The name Hellspawn is starting to become a little bit addictive to say, so I'm not sure if I will be keeping the Hellspawn name or not, but for now we'll just quickly spawn them both in as I want to check a few things and change a few things around, then we'll defeat this and get our resource zone. And this is what happens when the enemy's shields can't deflect anything we fire at them. That is beautiful. Just chunks of the enemy falling apart. In fact, so much so, those shells just went through the hole in the middle of the enemy. That was a pretty quick victory there by 2 of the Hellspawn. Well done, both of you glorious battleships. We now have a resource zone which we can start building on. And with that, I'm afraid, though, I am actually all out of time for today's episode. The building segment took a little bit longer than I wanted, but next time, we are going to just do sheer battles and head towards the White Flyer's fortress, which I can't remember the name of now off camera. We actually captured it in Season 3. Perhaps we can do the same now in Season 4. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, if you have any suggestions for things to build in the future, because I am going to be replacing the fireworks very soon, then of course, comment down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.